Hey guys, welcome back to Say Mojo Homestead. I'm Cass.
I'm Jeremy.
And today
That was really cheesy.
I wasn't.
What are we doing today?
We are going to do a little garden tour. There are some things in the garden that we are really excited about, and we wanted to share them with you.
Yes, this is also a very big weekend, which we'll be talking about later in this video, so be sure you catch that as well. Okay, so our raised beds are really looking full. So as we said, everything is really taking off, but these things, we've switched them over. We had radishes and stuff in this one, but we've taken them out. Carrots are really starting to mature out. And then our sweet potatoes, we planted sweet potatoes in here. This will be pretty much just a bean and sweet potato bed once we really get into the summer. Check out these Sea Island red beans. We had these in a video a couple weeks ago. They are really starting to get to that point where they're gonna start grabbing on and taking off. Over here, we have onions that are doing really, really well. Should be ready probably fairly soon. And then our radishes that are in here have really started to bolt, so we're probably just gonna pull those out. The carrots that are kind of have gotten buried in there, gonna give them a little bit more room. And our kohlrabi, the ones that had not kind of bulbed up, I guess that's what you call it with kohlrabi, are starting to. So this whole section in here is doing really well. The beds back here are also, those raised beds, really coming in nice. And we haven't switched over fully to what we're gonna be growing in there in the summertime, but we will be doing that. So Cass is behind me. She's ready to go to tell you about the next section.
So in this section, we actually did not focus as heavily over here with compost, and I've actually been putting rabbit manure on some of these areas as I plant them, and we're putting worm castings. The time is going crazy. I love having this because I actually do love having time in my cooking, even though I know the saying is there isn't a lot of time for time. There's no time for time, but I like to use time as much as I can. So I love having all of this, and we feed it to our rabbits as well. And the other thing I wanted to say about this section is we had some okra that was given to us by Jess, and they are coming up and doing really well. We also have some tomatoes that are doing really well.
Or green stalks, and this thing's really filling in nice. So we planted some different varieties of squash, like summer squash, so they're not gonna vine or anything. And then this is where we have all of our micro dwarf tomatoes, which are the tomatoes that only get like a foot tall. Lots and lots of blooms on them. And I haven't noticed any baby tomatoes yet, but we do have one. Check this out, right there. That's the first one. And yeah, I see some more down here. So really, really exciting. It's been a couple days since I've been able to get out here in the garden. So there's probably gonna be a lot of things. And we got really, really good rain for a solid 24 hours. And that always makes your garden just explode, which you're about to see in this next segment that Cass is gonna do.
Now we're gonna head to my favorite part of the garden. This is kind of the labyrinth or the chaos in the storm, whatever you prefer. But it is doing so well. I think it's beautiful. Everything is really thriving here. We have tomatoes. If you saw that video, we're kind of just planting arbitrarily. There's no reason or rhyme to what we're doing. We did put some basil with tomatoes. Those are good companion plants. And I actually also planted some sunflowers next to the tomatoes to give some extra stocking options for them. We might have done it late. It was kind of a last minute thing. It might not work, but that's doing really well. The bean tower, I am so excited about what this bean tower is gonna be like when it finishes. It is just taking off. Like Jeremy said, the rain has really helped with that. But once all this grows up, this is gonna be such a fun place to come and bring a chair and a cup of coffee and just relax. I know that this will be my favorite place to be this summer. So something I saw this morning when I was out here kind of just walking and observing is this bean plant that is wrapped around this tomato plant. And I'm wondering, I'm curious to see if it will kind of act as a trellis for our tomato and kind of tie it back. But I thought that was really neat that it's already attached to the tomato and attached to our teepee.
All right, so I did want to do a quick peanut update, not the dog, the plant that Josiah planted. Check these out. They are definitely popping up everywhere because he started planting and I wasn't keeping up with where he's planting. But they're doing really good. We're waiting for blooms and it has been really fun for Josiah watching these things grow.
Okay guys, this clump of volunteer squash has just exceeded any expectation that I had of, first of all, a volunteer. Second of all, a volunteer that popped up and then we had a freeze. And it is huge. It's taking over. Everywhere I look, I am seeing fruit on these plants. One thing I do see that I want to address is because there's so many leaves, I am seeing some squash bugs inside there, and they're hiding. So I will be dealing with those. The best way I have found to deal with them is soapy water and wait till the sun's kind of going down and it doesn't burn the leaves. But pour soapy water on them, they can't fly away. I will be doing that tonight, but I am super excited about what I am seeing in this section. I didn't think that we would ever end up with a plant like this.
So that's what's going on in the garden.
Yes.
I am really excited. I was actually shocked. I actually started paying attention to everything and was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I think it literally, a lot of stuff has probably almost doubled in size just in the last like 2 to 3 days. But that rain, it's amazing. I'm telling you guys.
It is.
There's nothing like rainwater. So we've had a lot of stuff going on this weekend.
Yes.
We got to, by we, I mean John and I. John, again, if you haven't seen him in the other videos, he is a young man that's staying with us for a little bit, kind of learning the homesteading ways.
Yes.
We're brainwashing him.
Slowly.
But he and I went to help out Homesteading in Hungary, which I will link their page in the description below. But they were processing their chickens. And so since they came to help us, we wanted to go help them. And John wanted to learn how to do it. So we went and did that. And then he also got to experience cows. I think he said for the first time. Like,
wow.
First time he got to touch one.
Wow.
So
It's a big deal.
It is. It was kind of fun watching him experience all of that. And I got to check up on, I still call her our goat, Roxy. And Roxy is doing great. She is trying to find her place in the herd. I mean, they're accepting her and everything, but yeah, she's really looking good.
That's good.
There was also another big event this weekend. And actually the day that we're recording this is the actual day of something. Would you like to share that?
It may be my birthday today.
Whoop, whoop.
I
Birthday
may be
on the
older.
homestead,
Yes.
which means we get some bluegrass birthday music at the end of this video.
Nice. Awesome.
So yeah, with that being said, let's jump into highs and lows because I
Highs and
think
lows.
it might be a given as to what at least your high is.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, so my high is Jeremy was very, very amazing, but overwhelming at the same time.
You know, I'm a pretty overwhelming, amazing kind of guy.
I know, yes. Well, he planned a surprise birthday party for me that I was so not expecting at all. I don't usually like big celebratory things. When he asks me what I want to do,
It was a risk.
like hang out in the garden, and that's about all I got. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't have a whole lot, but it was so fun hanging out with all my friends and people from, different walks of my life, I guess, and different parts of my life, and hanging out And yeah, so it was a really, really nice, unexpected event. You did a good job.
Thank you.
And the food
Thank
was
you.
amazing.
It was. So I'm going to give them a shout out because it
Yes.
was worth a shout out.
Yeah.
I had Taco Grill cater it. And so if you're in like the Midlands area of South Carolina, you can check them out. I'll put their information, just insert it right now, right here, their card. Screenshot this if you want it. Definitely worth
It was so good.
going to their food truck because, yes.
It was so good. Their chorizo. I'm pretty particular about my chorizo. It needs to be spicy and tasty.
Yes.
And they did both. It was so good. And it was beautiful. It was outside. The weather was perfect. You just did everything amazing.
You know, I love it when I can control the weather
I
and deliver.
know.
Let me tell you guys, if you've been with us, you know we're Christians. I was hardcore praying, and not just like, oh Lord, make it blah, blah, blah. Like really fervently praying that it was going to be good weather, because it was one of those forecasts where it was like, oh, it's going to be raining on Friday. Oh, it's not going to be raining on Friday. It's going to be raining on Friday. And it turned out really well.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. And outside was beautiful. You did a great setup.
So
awesome.
That was fun.
You need to be my event planning assistant, evidently.
Got it. Done. Check. Did you have a low this week?
So my low is probably that we are getting closer to show week, and just feeling a little of that pressure stepping in as director, and having to make sure that it's actually a show that's worth watching.
It is.
So, just that last minute stuff just coming together.
Yeah. So my high was that I got to finish up a really big project and get off of that and move on. I mean, it's been fun going out there, but needing to move on. So that was definitely my high of the week. I mean, with Friday taken out of it, that was Cass's birthday party, and today with her birthday, I'm going to let her have that as a high.
Awesome.
All right, so we had to move because the sun came out all of a sudden, like really, really bright. But yeah, my low was, I don't know that I had a low. You didn't have one last week. I'm going to take advantage and say I did not have a low this week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, be sure you subscribe.
Yes.
And join our YouTube family. And I would love to hear what your favorite birthday surprise was.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So comment below your favorite birthday surprise that you've ever been able to do for someone or that you've ever received. Thank you for hanging out with us in our garden today, and have a great week and be blessed.